If you've watched my Magdalen Street video, you will see that Magdalen Street consists of quite a lot of lovely old buildings, such as this one. Picturesque shops and buildings such as these continued all the way down the street. But then somebody had a bright idea to demolish them and build the beloved flyover. If you look at old pictures, you can see that these shops continued on with buildings in a similar style. However, this beautiful flyover is not the only thing that caused properties and shops and houses to be destroyed. Anglia Square. Now, Anglia Square and all the brutalist buildings around it have been marked for demolition and, you know, completely rebuilding flats, houses and things for quite some time, many years I believe, and a lot of the plans keep on falling through. But I thought it might be interesting to have a look around and show you it before it does finally get demolished. Up above this ceiling is the Hollywood Cinema. It's been closed for many years. There's some steps here. It does say that it's closed to the general public, but there's access for a gym and Gildon Gate House, so we can go up and have a little look. Yeah, back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean about 15 years ago, I went to the cinema up here, so I have actually been to this cinema. I believe the cinema floors are now falling into the shops below. So, yeah, that's not good, is it? We'll have a little look up here. So here's the Hollywood Cinema. And so there's the Hollywood Cinema there. That there is Sovereign House. Massively controversial here. Most people hate it. There's a few people who actually love it. I believed it was built in the design of, you know, like a ship, like the Titanic. Can't see it from this angle, but we'll go on the other side in a minute and have a look. Alan Partridge, of course, is a big Norwich celebrity figure. That's where we were a moment ago, down there. But yep, the pigeons are taking over this part of Norwich, as you can see. And here's the old Hollywood Cinema. Kids Club, £1.50. Any film, any day, all seats £4.99 for best value tickets. Over there's a massive car park. I don't actually know if that's still in use. But again, it's the brutalist design. This clock thing you can see here, that's actually above the shopping part of Anglia Square. If we go over here, you can see, yeah, there we go. This is where the shops are. There's some quite good shops down there, to be honest, but they're going to have to relocate, well, aren't they, if they decide to demolish the whole thing, which is what is planned. This poster in the window of the cinema is advertising a Disney Pixar film called Coco, which was going to have advanced previews January 13th and 14th, and in cinemas everywhere January the 19th, coming soon. It will be interesting if I check out when that film came out, because that will probably give us an indication of when this cinema closed. I've just been ever so politely told off for being up here when it did say, you know, strictly only access to the gym and something else. But no, ever so politely, they were completely fine with me, you know, being up there taking a little bit of film. but they said, you know, they could only give me a limited time because, you know, they have to monitor for vandals and things. So I've come back down the stairs that we went up, and we will take a little wander around the lower level here. As you can see, it's pretty rank. I do tend to agree that it is such a shame that lovely buildings were demolished to build this thing. Being polite about it, we'll call it a thing. And yeah, many of the shops here are, as this one, now closed. There's also a charity shop here. This was open till not long ago, maybe a year or so ago, but that's now closed. And over here, another shop, or bit of a shop, now closed. A charity shop here. Look at the state of that. The pigeons are killing the place as well. All pigeon droppings all along. You can see all the spikes along the top to try and stop the pigeons, but they still come. People feed them. I think that's part of the problem. Here, underneath the shelter, people just sit there all day throwing bread at the pigeons. So, you know, if they do that, then the pigeons are going to stick around, aren't they? So these are all closed now. I believe this charity shop had to move. This was fairly recent too. Oh, there's a dog getting a bit vicious over there. A little yapper. Yeah, I believe this charity shop had to move because the ceiling was falling in. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, can you see the holes in the ceiling up there? Yeah, I read that the cinema above was falling into the shops below, and that's what they meant, I guess. Move along a little bit, see a bit more over here, maybe. But, yeah, more there. So, yeah. Sad state of affairs, isn't it? Yeah, the guy who politely told me off, he told me that it shouldn't be long now before this all gets demolished. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased I've come today to take a bit of film, because it does look like there won't be much opportunity soon, because it's all going to be gone, and goodness knows what's going to be here instead. Now we're on the lower level, we can see Sovereign House. I think that bit there was supposed to be like a ship's chimney. And this is supposed to be like the back of the ship. That's what I read anyway. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. But as you can see, if I zoom in... Oh, it won't let me zoom in. It's, yeah, very poor condition. Apparently there's a lot of issues with loads of asbestos in there. That's what I've read. When I say apparently, basically it means the internet told me. Don't know whether it's true or not. So I say apparently, as, you know, I don't know if it's a hard fact or not. This rather dirty and dimpled ceiling continues. There's a little cafe here, cafe on the corner. That's quite popular. It's always quite busy. You can get a 4-ounce burger or hot dog for £3.50. And over here, Peter's family butcher, but sadly, his butcher passed away about a year ago, so it's not open since. Obviously, loads of graffiti, as you can imagine, for something like this. When properties are abandoned, they end up covered in graffiti and windows smashed and all things like that. But all shops along here are all closed down. Yep, it's all just completely dilapidated, I guess. Dirty, covered in graffiti, and all soon to be completely removed. What was once presumably was meant to be modern, transforming the landscape, you know, turning the place into something fantastic and thriving and new, not so long ago, is now just a complete wreck, just waiting to be flattened and replaced with something else. If we walk around this side, you'll be able to see Sovereign House a bit better and get a good look. It's a massive building, and people always put loads of graffiti down the side. The graffiti is constantly changing, and actually some of it is quite good artwork, to be fair, but yeah, we're going to walk down there and have a little look. You can see from this angle the idea of the ship a lot better. So Sovereign House used to be full of offices, I think. It's just so funny, I think, to think of how it was supposed to be like, you know, really trendy and modern, and I bet people who were working there felt really fancy that they were working in this wonderful new development at the time, in the 70s, I believe. Let's go and have a look at some of the graffiti at the bottom. This one's rather brightly coloured. It says it's by Flipperdip Art, so I guess if you googled Flipperdip Art you could find out who it was that painted it. Look at all this. People have been up there writing all over this building. You can see why people complain about it. It's been like this for many years. I first came to Norwich in 2008. And it was like this then, so its life as a fancy, you know, working building was fairly short-lived if it was built in the 70s, and by the mid, you know, noughties, as they call it, it was in this condition. There's still security cameras all around it, keeping an eye, filming everybody who does all the graffiti. So that's where I was just standing then, and I was filming that wall, and we've now come around this side, and yeah, similar situation around this side really. You can see the building is a lot thinner, so you can see it's a long thin building. And then beside it is that Sovereign House, and then we're back to the Anglia Square shopping area. So this looks like it's called Cherry Lane. Don't know whether this will remain, whether we will still have a Cherry Lane after everything has been destroyed and renovated and reconstructed. actually, from up here, you can see the flyover, which we looked at right at the beginning of this film. So this is the road that leads onto the flyover. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very busy road, cars constantly zooming over it. So those cars are completely destroying the piece that, you know, was once, that's Magdalen Street there. Just over there, that's one of the buildings on Magdalen Street, there. Yeah, so, you know, this very noisy chunk of concrete is just slammed right through the heart of a quaint old, you know, high street. That does make me sad to think what was once here and was once picturesque and had a lot of history in it, and it's all just flattened to plonk a brutalist, I was going to say monstrosity. I mean, lots of people do quite like it. It's not for me at all, you know, but a brutalist, well, basically block of concrete with loads of windows in it to just plonk that straight down, you know, where there was once a load of history. But of course this will now become history, which is why I've come to film it today, because very soon this won't be here anymore and this will be history, and then people will probably be fascinated by this. That is what I personally find really interesting. I absolutely love looking at buildings and, you know, streets and finding out what used to be there, and I also find it really interesting to look at things that probably won't be here for much longer and wonder what will be there in the future. That's why I like making these videos, because I'm basically documenting the streets and the buildings for myself, really, for, you know, future interest, but hopefully some of you guys find it really interesting too. I'm currently walking back up this way, but I just thought I'd show you that opposite Sovereign House there is this Botolph Street car park. And once again, your guess is as good as mine as to whether that will still be here in the future, or whether that will be, you know, flattened along with Sovereign House and Anglia Square. So we've had quite a good look at Sovereign House and the outside. Let's go back into the actual square of Anglia Square and just have a little look around the shops, because that's the bit that most people will be really familiar with, myself included, because this is a place that I sometimes come to do a bit of shopping. So yeah, we'll go in and have a look, because I want to capture it, you know, for my memory really, and you know, any of you guys might find it interesting in the future. And, you know, surely, you know, if any of you are from Norwich, you will have memories here too. So, yeah, let's go and film a little bit, capture real life in Anglia Square. Well, for a start, there's a really, really, really angry street cleaner who has just gone around this corner. And he was swearing at me. So under this little shelter is where people often sit if they've been to Greg's or something like that. There's Greg's over there on the right, and there's these seats around this circular area. People like to sit. You often have loads of pigeons here. There aren't many here today, probably because of the wet weather. Oh shit, here comes that man again. The said swearing street cleaner is now reporting me to security. I can hear him on his phone saying, yeah, she's got long hair and she's got a camera. I didn't think it was against the law to be filming buildings, but there we go. Maybe it is. Although I did speak to security earlier, who just told me, you know, I could take photos upstairs, film and photos upstairs as long as I came down quite quickly. They didn't say, sorry, no filming in Anglia Square, so hopefully I'm not about to be arrested. That'd be an interesting end to this video, wouldn't it? So I hope you enjoyed that little wander around Anglia Square and Sovereign House with me. I'm going to leave now before I get in any more trouble. Nope, I was going to leave that way, but the very angry street cleaner was coming my way, so I'm going out a different way. I genuinely did not expect anybody to be upset with me filming buildings, but clearly it's not the done thing around here, so right. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little stomp around Anglia Square, like I said, and I hope you'll join me in another video soon. Until then, bye for now. I'm out. Freedom. Let's just hope he's not round this corner. Please don't tell me he's round this corner. No, we're safe.